Alright guys, so I am currently 15 hours and I think it's like 37 or something minutes into the division, and so far my experience has been pretty good. Um, as you guys know, I'm playing on PC. The game runs very smooth. They definitely, let me think of it, fixed the some of the stutters and FPS spikes and lags and things. So I first booted up the game on the Monday, so March 7th, around 6 o'clock. So I got to start to play the story a little bit. The online servers and stuff weren't online yet, but I still got to play a little bit of the campaign, or a story, whatever you want to call it. But so I jumped in. I had to fix the graphics a few times because, as probably you guys already know, it's a very graphic intense game. Even though a lot of people don't think it looks as good as Destiny, it still performs very good. It still looks very good overall. I really like the New York scene to it. Going into the Dark Zone, I actually am only around level 6 on the Dark Zone. I decided to hold back a little bit and level up my guy in just the story or campaign or whatever. So I'm currently level 15. I've kind of been using guns that don't have the best damage per second, but I've gotten really into the snipers, or the rifles. That's what they're called. So usually I'll use a rifle, and then the rifle I think is just 5,000 damage per second, and then the shotgun I use is 4,000 damage per second. It's a marine shotgun. Use that as my secondary, and then my pistol is around, I want to say 4 or 5,000 damage per second. But what I usually do is, so I'll try and get a headshot with the rifle, and if I shoot him, most of the time it's always a one-shot kill. But if it isn't, then he's either really close to dying, so I'll just pull out my pistol or my shotgun and I'll just finish that. But what I've mainly been doing is just side missions. Side missions are a great way to level up. Right now, I'm thinking, I'm still on the left side of the map, but I'm in the left top corner, so basically my average XP per side mission is around 26,000, so it works out pretty well, and I think you get around 4 to 5 side missions each time. But that really helps with leveling up, because at first I was just leveling up I really wasn't even trying to follow leveling up. I was just playing the game, and then I was like, let me try the side mission, and the side mission got me a lot of XP, so I decided just to keep following the side missions all over the map. And the good thing is you can actually come back to the safe houses and get new side missions. But because I'm level 15, I'm going to have to start moving over to the right side of the map. So I'm going to come down on the right side and just move to the back end of the map, which I know that's when the XP will start to come up. I know a lot of people were worried about rushing to get to level 30, but honestly, I don't think it's really worth it. I think it's more fun to just enjoy the game, play it at whatever pace you want to. So I'm not trying to speed through the game, I'm just trying to play it. But the next thing I'll talk about is some of the problems I had with the game. I definitely had a few crashes already. It was particularly bad yesterday. And I don't know, it might be on my end, but I had my processor, my FX 6300, overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz, and then I had my graphics card, just a GTX 960, 2 gigabytes, and that was overclocked to around 1400 or 1300 megahertz, and it would play smooth. It would play so smooth, and I would get into a mission, and I would crouch behind something, and then bam, it would freeze, crash, and I would start back over. But another problem I did have was this issue where I could turn the settings up to all the way up, and it would run smooth, like 60 FPS, smooth, but then right as I would get into a firefight or something, it's almost like all that texture and all that just came and hit the processor and graphics card and dropped it all the way down to about 10 FPS. It was hitting it really hard. That's what she said. But so what I did is I kept getting those crashes, and I was like, alright, I can't play with this. I love the 60 FPS, but when it drops down to 10 every 30 seconds, I don't want to play the game like that. I just want to play it. I'll take what I'm playing now is around high settings. Basically, it's a mixture from low, medium to high settings all over. I'm averaging about 50 to 60 frames per second, but that is very playable. I don't want how it was before, where it was inconsistent, where it was 60 for a couple, probably about a minute, and then it would drop down to 30 seconds. I don't like playing like that. I'm just gonna stick with my 50 to 60 and enjoy the game, basically. At some point, I did start to think maybe if I should downscale the game to 900p, but I was like, because if I did downscale to 900p, it would be a constant 60 FPS, but I'm like, I would rather have the game look gorgeous and play it with 50 to 60, which 50 to 60 on this game is fine. You're more than fine. I know a lot of people talking about how they'll have like i7 processor, a Titan X, and they'll try and max the game out at 1440p, and then they'll start to complain because they're only getting like 30 to 45 FPS. But overall, this game is just, it works your graphics card. It really does. Like, I thought GTA 5 was hard on my graphics card. Not even compared to this. Definitely though, if you do, for sure, I don't have an expensive graphics card, but I still play with it. It's still fine. But if you have a lower budget graphics card like me, just definitely find those settings that you really enjoy playing with. Even if you do have to downscale it down to 900p, 720p, it's still a really fun game overall. But yeah, I know they had a maintenance check, maybe I'm gonna say, I think it was Thursday night, like Wednesday going into Thursday night. It was in the middle of the night though. It was around 1. It was about 2 hours. But going back to that problem I was having, so it kept crashing, and I decided to downclock it back to 4.3 gigahertz. The stock clock on the processor or in the chip is 3.5, but I have a Cooler Master cooler on it, so I overclocked it to 4.5, which is the main overclock I had on it. But it played fine in all the other games I played except for this one. This is the one game that I've been getting crashes on. And the card, my graphics card, it's made by MSI, so it's an MSI card. So I use MSI Afterburner, and yeah, that's what it's called. I'm making sure I got it right. I use MSI Afterburner to do my overclocking for my GPU. But I don't know if I do get a SSD, if that'll help with. I know it'll help with the loading times, but sometimes in games it does help with the stuttering and different things. But really, I have constant like, it's very consistent. It's not, my FPS isn't all over the place, but so I had to downscale or downclock or whatever it's called to 4.3 from 4.5, and at first that did help the problem. So I had let me see, I'm gonna pull up MSI Afterburner. Alright, let's see if I can pull it up on here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Alright, sorry guys, I'm just gonna have to find this real quick. Yeah. Alright guys, alright, so you can see it up there. This is what I'm currently running for my overclock. Originally I did have it where it was at 108 for my power limit. My core clock was at 190, memory clock was at 500, and then I would turn the fan speed up to 100. I don't know why, I just chose to. But I looked more into it, and I think it was over, like, it wasn't stable at all, which I learned eventually. So because I was playing on 4.3 and I was still getting those crashes, and I was like, alright, this can't be my processor. My processor is fine. So I dropped the graphics card, or the GPU overclock down to that, what it is right now, and I jumped back on the game, and I played for about 4 hours stable. It was fine after that. So I kept it with that, and then today I tried to jump back up to 4.5 with a I actually just moved my setup into my room. It was in the other room over across the hallway, but so because I unplugged my computer to move it, I had to overclock it. So I was like, alright, I'll decide to overclock it to 4.3, but or 4.5, and so I overclocked it to 4.5, and then I kept the same settings for my GPU overclock, and it played well. So I was like, alright, this is fine. And so I pause the game, and then I go downstairs and I eat, and then I come back up and I start to play, and it's running fine, and then all of a sudden it just crashes, and I'm like, okay, you're just gonna crash like that. And so I dropped the graphics setting, or I dropped the overclock down, because at that point I was like, it has to be the overclock. So currently running on 4.3 gigahertz with around 1300 megahertz, I think. and my system is a FX 6300 with a GTX 960 2GB, and I run a 1TB hard drive. I only have a 430 watt power supply from EVGA, but it does the job, that's for sure. I think that's one of the better 430 watt power supplies. And then I have a Cooler Master. Let me see. Look it up right here. Let's see. This, alright, the Cooler Master Hyper 212, I don't know if it's Evo, I think it's just the 212, but, it does very well with its overclocking. It keeps the computer very cool. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying the game so far, and I hope any of you guys that are playing it are enjoying it too. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and sub, and see you guys later.